Before the cities of glass and steel, before the flags of strangers fluttered on African soil, there was a woman who ruled storms. Her name was Amina of Zazao. They called her warrior, queen, builder, conqueror. A woman born into a world that told her she could not lead, yet she led armies. A queen who rode out from the walled city of Zaria to face 10,000 enemies and came back with the world whispering her name. This is not just her story. It is the story of every woman who stood when the world said no. The story of the queen who fought empires. Her childhood echoed with war drums. Her father, a noble warrior. Her mother, a priestess who spoke to spirits through the flames. From them, she learned two truths: that a blade may conquer men, but wisdom conquers time. From the age of 16, she trained with the men: horse riding, sword fighting, strategy, and diplomacy. She was tall, fierce, and brilliant. When others saw a princess, soldiers saw a commander. After her mother's death, her brother took the throne. When her brother fell, the land fell silent. The throne waited. And Amina stepped forward, head high, eyes unflinching, like a lioness walking into prophecy. They crowned her Queen of Zazao, and she wasted no time. Within months, Amina led her first campaign north into territories that had long resisted Zazao rule. She conquered them all. She expanded her kingdom farther than any ruler before her, stretching from modern-day Nigeria into parts of Niger and Cameroon. A Hausa trader said, Amina took up arms to make the world safe for trade. And so even her wars brought prosperity. And she would earn it with her hands, with her will, with her blood. She forged alliances, led armies, and on her horse, she rode into battle like lightning given flesh. For 34 years, she ruled with fire and grace. From Kano to Katsina, from Nupe to the forest edge, her name carried both awe and warning. They said her armor shone red as sunset, and her voice could turn fear into fury. When the empire's shadows grew long, and foreign powers began to creep upon the land, she rose. Not as a queen born of title, but of action. She united tribes who had long stood apart: farmers, hunters, healers, warriors, all beneath her banner. They called her Alafin Abeni, the one who commands storms. Her army moved with rhythm. Drums guided their steps, chants filled the dusk. They fought not for gold nor glory, but for memory, to remind the world that Africa would not kneel quietly. And when the colonizers came with muskets and flags, she did not run. She stood upon the hill, spear in hand, and said,
"Our time is now."
If the gods gave you thunder, then they gave me fire. It is said, lightning cracked the sky that night.
Forward!
Rain turned the
For the
battlefield
Queen!
to rivers. But her warriors, barefoot, fierce, unbroken, fought through it all. Some called it madness, others called it destiny. And when dawn broke, she was still standing, blood upon her bronze, gold glimmering in the stormlight, a queen, undefeated in spirit. But empires do not fall in a single day. The foreign armies returned, again and again. Each time she met them not with fear, but with strategy. She studied their weapons, learned their arrogance, turned it against them. She became a ghost in their reports, the queen of smoke and shadow. Even when betrayal came from within her own court, she did not waver. She said,
"Even a serpent must shed skin to grow."
Even a serpent must shed skin to grow, but I will never shed my honor. For years, she led her people through darkness. Villages rebuilt under her command. Songs were sung of her courage, how she faced armies of men who believed a woman's strength was a myth. And yet, every battle proved them wrong. History tried to erase her. Colonial archives reduced her name to footnotes. Her victories rewritten as uprisings. Her wisdom ignored. But the earth remembers. The land where she stood still whispers her story through the wind. The women who came after her, queens, rebels, poets, freedom fighters, carried her fire in their hearts. From Dahome's fierce Amazons to modern heroines across Nigeria and beyond, her spirit echoes in every defiant heartbeat. And this is where Amina becomes more than history. She becomes a symbol for every woman whose power was erased, for every leader whose victories were buried because they did not fit someone else's story. Some legends say she never married. Others say she took lovers in every city she conquered and left them behind by morning. Whether truth or myth, each version speaks of one thing: freedom. Her kind of freedom frightened the world. They say when she vanished from the battlefield, her armor was found still warm, as if her body had turned to light. Some believe she ascended into the storm itself. Others say she became the wind that carries courage into every African soul. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain: she never died. She became a story. And stories, like queens, never truly fall. But Amina's reign wasn't built only on battlefields. She built walls, long earth fortifications that protected cities and marked Zazao's reach. Even centuries later, they're still called Amina's walls, a silent proof that she once ruled here. Yet, for all her triumphs, her story is wrapped in silence. Few chroniclers wrote her name. Many dismissed her entirely because the idea of a woman leading armies challenged everything their world believed. When she fell, somewhere near the banks of the river Niger, so did Zazao's dominance. Her successors lacked her vision, her discipline, her fearlessness. Her city fell to rivals, and centuries of oral retelling turned her life into legend. But think about it. How powerful must she have been that 500 years later, people still whisper her name in awe? History remembers the conquerors of Europe. It remembers kings who waged wars across oceans. But Africa's history is full of women like Amina, builders, warriors, philosophers, scientists, whose names were pushed aside, hidden beneath colonial silence. Imagine her, riding through the dawn, armor glinting, thousands behind her, every hoofbeat shaking the desert, every soldier shouting her name. She ruled not from behind walls, but from the front lines. And maybe that's why she could never rest. Because power, for her, was not about comfort. It was about protection, about proving that leadership was not born of gender, but of courage. And courage is all she had left. There's a Hausa proverb that says, "The child who knows the path of their mother will never get lost." Amina's path still runs through Africa's veins, in every woman who leads, every voice that refuses silence. She fought 10,000 battles so others could choose peace. But her greatest war was against a world that didn't believe she should exist. If this story moved you, don't let it disappear again. Share it, tell it, because every share keeps her alive. And if you believe Africa's history deserves more than silence, if you believe our legends should be heard in every language and every classroom, subscribe to Tribes and Tales Africa. Join us, reclaim our stories, because the world has forgotten too many queens, and it's time we remember their names. Today, her name crowns statues, schools, and streets. Her story inspires films, novels, and song. But the real monument to Amina isn't made of stone. It's made of memory. Every time her name is spoken, she rides again. And so, the story doesn't end. It rides, through time, through blood, through every woman who dares to lead without permission.